Hello, hello, Sam Utari here, and welcome to Monster Hunter Freedom. If I don't sound excited, there's a reason for that. And that reason is because, one, I'm messing with my volume settings, but two, the other reason is because this game has given me nothing but a headache to try and get working. So we are going to go ahead and do a new game for now. Oh goodness, it's just, wow, this game, turn it down a little bit more, because I really do not trust these settings at all. I'm gonna go ahead and take it back down to 18 or whatever, so that it behaves itself. We'll see how this goes. And if it doesn't go well after this, I just quit, you know? Okay, so let's see here. So name is going to be obviously Sam Utari. We're not going to save this character just because I did already create a character and I did get to a certain point. And that's what's really frustrating about this, is that I've literally created this character, and I kid you not, I have created this character at least 5 different times. So, and I will go into why, but it's not like super duper important. So essentially what happened is I am emulating this on my PC. I'm sorry, I have no choice, so you can sue me later, I guess. But yeah, I really have no choice in the matter. It's just, it is the only way that I could actually play this at the time, just because I don't have a capture card or anything like that. So anyways, I made this character. It's like, I made this character, and at first I couldn't get the emulator to work, okay? So quick story time. First, I couldn't get the emulator to work. It would not work. I was trying to use RetroArch because it was through Steam, and I'd heard great things about it. So I was trying to use RetroArch, and every time I would try and load up this game, the menus were invisible. Well, I've never played this game before, so I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I made it through the character creation, but then the minute it came time to actually play the game, that's where I was running into an issue, right? So then, I finally, discussed it with some people, and they were just like, hey, try PPSSPP, which is for, PlayStation Portable games, and I'm like, cool. So I downloaded it directly to my computer, tried that, got this to work, and I was so excited, and I found that, I could play this game using my Xbox controller. Neat. Then the problem came with, the sound. Couldn't get the sound to work at first. That was a user error on my part, and trying to use, Streamlabs and stuff to record. Couldn't get the sound to work. Finally got the sound to work. Then, once I was trying to get the sound to work, couldn't get the screen size to work. Finally fixed that. Then I couldn't get the controller configured to my liking, even though I tried. Because for some odd reason, due to Steam and the way that the Steam input works with my controller, I had enabled support for Xbox controllers, and what was really frustrating was, while it works great for Steam games, when you're using anything outside of Steam, the controller acts as a mouse. So when I had this up, when I had the game up, obviously it didn't really see it as, oh, she's in a game right now, so the controller is just a controller. It was seeing my controller as both a controller and a mouse, which was really, really messing up the configurations, and it was making it impossible. I'd be playing this game, and then I would go to my video recorded file and realize I had recorded, and I kid you not, I had recorded 90 clips that were anywhere from 1 second to 10 seconds long, because as I was playing the game, my button inputs on my actual controller were causing Streamlabs to start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And sometimes it was even opening up Google Chrome and trying to take me to the Streamlabs page, because it was trying to get me to, or I guess I was clicking on something for Streamlabs Ultimate. So I recorded for about 2 hours before I realized this was going on. And yeah, it screwed everything up. So I had been talking the entire time, I'd been playing this game the entire time. I was actually enjoying myself until then. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and confirm this character. We are going to use it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm a beginner, even though I feel like by now, since I've done the same 5 quests multiple times, I would say I've pretty much got the hang of it, but we're gonna go ahead and say yes. And we are not going to save this character. We are going to begin the game without saving because I already have a character that is saved and she's gone through all these quests. So we are going to see if we can get this to work this time. So far, so good. It's going a lot better than it was. It's loading. Load faster. There we go. So welcome to Kokoto Village. Kokoto Village is the scene of the first Monster Hunter game on PlayStation 2. It is also a village that you can visit in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, it is one of the villages that you can visit, and it, like I said, it is the place of the first Monster Hunter game, and obviously for Monster Hunter Freedom, it is the village for Monster Hunter Freedom. For a lot of people, this was their first Monster Hunter game, and so hats off to those people, because playing this thing, it's definitely, it shows its age, alright? It's not terrible, but it shows its age. So, for those that play New Gen, I would say, New Gen or New World, I'll refer to it as both. As you notice, we are naked. Now, if you started Monster Hunter Rise or something like that, you'll notice that this outfit kind of like alludes or, you know, is similar to one of the ones that you can choose for Kimura Village. And naturally you'd think, oh, just go to your box and put on some equipment. We have none. All we have is weapons. We can create equipment sets. But yeah, we have nothing. So this is the armor that we have. And as you saw when it came to changing the equipment, these are the weapons that you're given to use. Now, technically, the chief of Kokoto Village, he is going to tell you that I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. The chief of Kokoto Village is going to tell you that he's giving you some weapons that you can choose between, but you can just use your hunter's knife. The thing with that is that he doesn't really add anything. I was hoping he was going to add, like, longsword or something else that I like to use. But yeah, that's just not the case. So, we do have greatsword here, we have hammer, we have lance, and we do have crossbow. I've not tried any of these because, honestly, sword and shield is actually fine. So we're just going to keep that for now. But yeah, and as far as, like, items, we don't have any items, and we don't have anything in our box as far as items go, so that is kind of where we're at. We are naked and afraid. It's not really that bad, though. So let's talk to some of these people. Oh, good morning! You're up early today, aren't you? Getting used to life in the village? What? You want to be a hunter? Well, if that's what you really want. Why don't you start by talking to the village chief? And this guy. Hello, nice weather, eh? They say you're trying to be a hunter. I hear those hunter types are always worrying about their equipment. Did you know that you could open up the menu by pressing the start button? You can choose status or equipment detail from the menu to check out the weapons and armor you currently have equipped. Thanks. Now, this guy is not in the original Monster Hunter. I've noticed that Monster Hunter Freedom is a little bit different from what I've seen of original Monster Hunter. This dude stands out like a sore thumb, and so I went and talked to him, like, immediately, and then I figured out why he stands out so much. He's like, so you want to be a hunter, huh? What a wonderful thing to aspire to, but remember, you must do your best. First, you have to speak with the village chief. I'm sure he will help you. One more thing. Once you've talked with the chief, do you mind coming back here? I have a favor to ask. This lady right here is the item lady. She will sell us items, but we have no money. This lady, I guess, has, like, good deals on items. She sells them for, like, super cheap, but I think her inventory changes, but I'm not really sure. This guy right here will sell us weapons and armor. This dude will let us craft weapons and armor. This dude's another hunter. Huh? You want something? I'm a hunter, you know, and I'm very busy. What? You want to be a hunter too? Now wait just a minute. Take it from me. Hunting's too dangerous for somebody like you. You aren't cut out for it. What? Your mind's made up? Well, if you're sure. I guess you'd better go talk to the village chief then. Well, see you later. I bet he's, like, one of the inspirations for, like, those, hellhounds or something. So... it'll be a good 50 years before you get to be as good a hunter as me, though. Oh, and this lady just tells us about items. This right here is the Kokoto chief. He's obviously one of the first people we have to speak to. Huh, seems like you set your sights on being a hunter. What is a hunter? A lonely soldier without a name, someone with an eye for collecting, someone chiseled with memories of victory with comrades. Everyone has one or two of those traits, but a hunter must have them all. If you're serious about wanting to be a top-class hunter, then let me share with you everything I've learned as the hero of Kokoto. To celebrate your setting off as a hunter, I'd like to give you a couple of presents. First, some money. It isn't much. Second, go back home and take a look in your item box. I've placed a set of weapons in there for you. Please use whichever you'd like. But while you are still getting used to things, it's safe for you to use your current hunter's knife until you've gained a rank. By the way, there's an outpost of the Hunters Guild in this village now. There you can embark on quests with a large number of hunters. Go to the counter to initiate a quest with others. The counter is inside this house, so you should visit there for a better explanation. Okay. So I have not visited the Gathering Hall only because I would not know the first thing about getting online to work. I have heard you can get online to work, but yeah, I'm not even going to worry about it. Since we were given 1500 zenny, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just buy some leather armor. It's not really necessary, but I just want to show you like what it looks like for one, but two, also just, I guess just how quickly your money goes. Because you'd think 1500 would be like a good amount of money, but yeah, it's not. So literally buying the whole set of leather armor, and that's just the armor, has literally spent all of our zenny. Now normally this wouldn't be a problem, however, in order to initiate quests outside of the beginner quests, it costs zenny. So you don't want to spend all your money if you're not starting off as a beginner and getting all that money right off the bat. So we're going to talk to this guy again. I, as head of the Merchants Union in this village, have a request for you, young hunter. Recently, the Union has prepared a field for farming. Would you be the caretaker of the field? It is commonly called Kokoto Farm. All the necessary items and labor have been pre-arranged. You're welcome to use the fruits of the land. If you purchase or sell goods in town, or make a donation to the Union, we'll be able to work together to expand the farm. Let's see. Renovate, explain points. To renovate Kokoto Farm, you must have enough Kokoto points. Kokoto points are a kind of service point awarded when you buy or sell things in town. You can get points by buying items from the shops in town. You'll receive 10% of the price as Kokoto points. At any rate, we would be most grateful if you would spend your hard-earned money in our town. Also, if you sell items that you acquire during your travels, you will receive points for the full amount. Even if it's the most mundane of items, there are many things of value to us here. This covers points earned by buying items. When you buy armor or weapons, you'll receive 1% of the price in Kokoto points. Since armor and weapons are daily necessities, there's a large gap in the number of points earned. Buying or selling things in town will earn you Kokoto points. Okay, nice. Which reminds me, blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. So this is a feature that you're not going to see in the original Monster Hunter. I guess farms were introduced in later entries. I'm not sure when they were. But I do know that the Kokoto Farm is really useful because it literally gives you free items. Every time you complete a quest, you will get items. So, and you don't even need this stuff to, to mine, catch bugs, or whatever. So for those that have not played, I guess old world or old gen Monster Hunter, there's a huge difference in how certain things operate. So obviously, this is a mining spot. This is what mining spots look like throughout the world. You kind of have to pay attention to find them because they are going to be hidden, whether you believe so or not. But the problem is like outside of the farm, you would actually need a specific item in order to mine. You would have to be able to create iron pickaxes. You can either craft them or you can buy them. You'll probably start off by buying them. Same with here. So we can gather bugs from spots that look like this or that have like a butterfly flying around. But in order to catch bugs, you need a bug net. And again, bug nets are something that you can either craft or you can buy. If you don't have a bug net and you don't have a pickaxe, then you obviously cannot use these spots. Same with fishing. If you want to fish, you need to have bait. Now, whenever you're on the farm, they give you these things. They give you free bait to use, they give you free pickaxes to use, they give you free nets to use, but once we leave the area, we won't have those items. So, I am so tired of fishing in this game. I have fished so much in this game today. So I'm just concerned. Because one, it takes forever for the fish to turn around. And then, and it's so finicky. So I've noticed with the fishing, it really is finicky. You could literally press the button, like, immediately when they drag it under, and you still won't catch anything. But then sometimes you press it right away, and then they're like, oh yeah, you got a fish! So I don't know if this is because of the bait that's being used, and if it's just RNG. Like, I do not understand. And that's a pin tuna. The other ones are knife mackerels. And that's the thing, I've literally fished so much in this game that I already know what every fish is. So, like, the red one is a sushi fish. Oh, oops. The red one is a sushi fish. The tiny one's a sleepy fish or whatever. Freaking, the small blue one is a knife mackerel. And the large blue ones are pin tunas. And then occasionally you'll find a small golden fish, which is worth 500 zenny, by the way. So if you can catch those, sell them, like, immediately. And then, yeah, you can also grow herbs in there, but we don't have any herbs to grow. Once we do, we can grow herbs, and then we can harvest them and kind of, like, double our herbage. And then if you talk to this guy, once you have enough Kokoto points, he will upgrade the farm. You can plant a mushroom tree, you can build a beehive, you can also increase the pier for fishing, which will then increase the yield of fish, and you can increase, like, you can build a ladder for the mining so that you have more mining spaces. Alright, if you want to be a first-rate hunter, there are all sorts of challenges you have to meet. What level of quest would you like to undertake? So, we obviously see ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we have the urgent quest. We don't have access to any of these right now. That is because he wants to show us the ropes as it is. So we are going to go to urgent quest, and then he said, these are about the only quests that look right for you. And he is going to introduce us to finding raw meat. Now, this is not a quest that you can skip. He'll ask us if we want to accept the quest, we say yes, and then he'll tell us where we can initiate the quest, which is right here. So, your first, like, 5 or 6 quests really is just teaching you the game. It's teaching you the tutorial. So, hopefully, we're just gonna breeze through this. So, immediately, one thing that I want to point out is that this game is not bad, by any means. The movement is with the left analog stick. To draw your weapon is going to be triangle, or in my case, the Y button. Attacking is still going to be the same with Y button and B button. There are really no combos per se. It's just, obviously, like, triangle or Y are your upper hand strikes. B are more of your side strikes. They are a little bit heavier. So, triangle or Y for quick strike, B or circle for heavier strikes. You cannot turn the camera with the right analog stick. You have to use the D-pad. And that is the weirdest thing, because you're moving with the left analog stick, and then you're having to turn the camera with the D-pad. So I can't even describe to you, like, what my fingers look like. I'm essentially just reaching over with my thumb to turn the D-pad while I am moving. And while it's not terrible, if you're in a fight, you're going to have to stop moving the D-pad to attack or to dodge, and then as you're running away, you're going to have to reach over again and turn the camera. It's not impossible, but I can see where it is very uncomfortable. And then, of course, you can use either, the X or the square to put your weapon away. There are no button prompts for the chest and stuff, so that's another thing that I had to get used to, is that there was no button prompts for certain things. I was waiting for a button prompt to tell me, like, to open the chest or whatever, and there is no such thing. So, that was kind of weird for me. Now, before we exit here, as you can see, we only have zones 1, 2, and 3 available. For older gen games, there is the issue of, essentially kind of, how do I explain? Every section is a loading screen. It's not one continuous map like Rise would be or like World would be. So old gen does have that disadvantage. and you have to pick up the map as an item in order to know where you are going. If for any chance your map gets stolen, which there are monsters that can steal maps, you will then lose access to the map and will no longer know where you are unless you've memorized the map in your head. So it can be very, very frustrating. There are some other frustrations with old gen. I find them quirky. They're not really that bad, but we'll kind of go over that a little bit later. So let's just go ahead and get into this. Okay. So every time you see the wisdom of the chief, essentially, it's just the tutorial. He's gonna add a bunch of stuff, and he'll tell you about like things that you've seen or whatever. Oh man. So the camera is not bad. So by pressing the D-pad, if we press up, down, and then down again, it will change the vantage point of our camera. This isn't horrible. It's just, again, it's not great. So essentially what this quest is we are gathering raw meat from these Antonoth, which means we just want to cut these guys down. I always do that. Some of them do fight back and they do some damage. I kind of always forget that. Their tells are not as obvious, and again, the camera thing's kind of an issue. And then of course he's telling us basically just how to carve a monster. The only thing is you really gotta, like, get in the monster to carve them. But I have noticed that the bodies don't really seem to disappear as quickly as Generations Ultimate, I feel. But that's probably because they knew that the game's very, like, slow and clunky, and so they give you more time to carve, but it can be very, yeah, clunky. Clunky is the word I'm going to use a lot. This game is old, this game is clunky. Alright. But yeah, you basically have to, like, get in the monster to carve. And once more, ooh, small monster bone. Again, there's really no prompt that says, hey, you can carve these things. So reading the wisdom of the chief and, like, reading the, I guess the tutorial thing, the hunter's magazines that are in your room, those will help, immensely, so. Because they will tell you everything that's going on. Do not hit me with your tail, just die, please. Alright, and they're not bleeding anymore, so that's how you know that they're actually dead, but their animations are very, very long. So even though we've already, like, completed this mission, I'm not ending it just yet. Well, I probably could, just because I don't really have anything else I have to do. I did want to point out something. These are the places where you collect herbs. So, as you can see, this one gives us, like, needleberries and stuff, which is, like, used for ammo. Normally I would collect these just for the sake of selling them. They only sell for 1 zenny, but because zenny is really so scarce in this game, I find that it's important. One thing you'll notice is that once you're finished gathering and it says there's nothing here, that essentially means that you cannot gather from this spot anymore, but the plant itself does not disappear, and that is one of those things that is kind of frustrating to me, because I would fully expect the item to disappear once you are done collecting from it. So these are dung piles, you have your herbs right there. Generally where those fireflies are, that would be a place where you collect bugs, but for some odd reason, I have yet to get it to work, like activate. I know that in Generations Ultimate it's a place where you can do that. So I don't know if I just have to wait until further quests or something, to unlock that, or what. Over here is where we would get herbs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get those, because there are some quests where they want us to get herbs and stuff. So I'm just gonna max out whatever herbs I can, just cuz. But yeah, one of the quests wants us to get raw meat, another one wants us to cook the raw meat, another one wants us to pick herbs, another one wants us to fish for a sushi fish, which we've already caught, and there's a couple other ones. They're just small things, like I said, they are basic. And then once we reach the part where we can fight, like, Velociprey and stuff and actually hunt stuff, then I will probably just go back to my other account. But anyways, while I'm doing this, I guess I'll go back to my thoughts on this game. Honestly, it doesn't play bad. I think what I expected was something that was a lot worse. So I'm just gonna preface this by saying this, right? I am an older gamer, right? My first console was a Super Nintendo. I am used to games being old and clunky, alright? I grew up with old and clunky. All those old games where they talk about, like, the glitches and the exploits and all the ways that the games were broken, like, I was playing the original Pokemon in 1998, okay? Like, and I know it's showing my age here. Like, I get that, I do. But older games, I guess, they just hold a certain charm for me, because of just how nostalgic they feel, right? Because again, I grew up with the clunkiness. I grew up with the bad graphics, you know. And I know that I've said this in another video, but you know, well, actually, I might not have said this in a video, but I know I wrote it in a blog. But you know, I had an ex-boyfriend who you know, when we were in high school, he had a PlayStation Portable. And he was playing Monster Hunter. That was the first time I had ever heard of Monster Hunter. And he flat out, you know, was struggling because of these games. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Like I said, I find them charming. I just find them, like, I don't find them so much difficult as, like, maybe kind of irritating. But on the same manner, I understand that for some people, playing older games is not desirable, right? With the advancement in video game technology, you know, just the quality of life changes. Like, consider this game, right? You can't even move the camera with the right analog stick, because on the PSP, there wasn't that. You didn't have that. Like, there wasn't... it just didn't have the stuff, right? It just had the buttons on the one side, an analog stick on the left side, and a D-pad, right? It was weird looking, and it was, you know, it was new, but it was odd. They were just, PlayStation was trying their hands at something different, right? Anyways, so when you consider now that, you know, cameras and stuff can be moved with the analog stick, even when you consider some of the new mechanics like riding palamutes, you know, the wire bug system, you know, just crazy things that they came out with. Instead of having to throw paintballs at monsters to track them, now there was scouting or whatever it was in World, and then the monsters just being on the map right away in Rise. There's even just going from loading maps with loading areas to, you know, just a completely open map, right? And even just as much as like the online connectivity and how that functions. We have so much quality of life now that I often get asked why I would ever want to go, why I would ever want to do freaking, why would I, blah, 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 I can't even think, why I would ever want to go to older games. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. I often get asked why I even bother. Because there's obviously just better games that I can play. And I don't disagree. There's obviously better games out there. However, like I said, something about old games is just really, really charming to me. I'm not a graphics snob by any means. Obviously, this game does not look great. I mean, looking at it on my computer screen right now, where it's all blown up on my monitor, I could literally make pixel art out of the Chief of Kokoto, and it's hideous looking. Like, he is a terrifying man. And just all the pixels, everything, just all the details. This looks gross. Like, it doesn't look great, you know? And even the loading screen looks like all fuzzy. I bet on a PSP, this looked like peak. But obviously on a high definition monitor that's stretched out, you know, 1980 by whatever, it looks disgusting. It looks really nasty. It's not a comfortable thing. And then same with the sound. The sound, like when these guys eat grass, it is the crunchiest noise that I've ever heard. Yeah, like, you can't hear it because I've turned down the sound, but this thing eating grass is so crunchy, and it's not even like a good crunchy. It's a bad crunchy, and even the music sometimes is just so harsh, and it's good for the time. And that's the thing. I can listen to something, see something, and my brain goes, you know, this was good for the time, and it really was. Yeah, I know. Drop it in the red barrel, blah, 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 blah. I've only done this like 6 or 7 times, Grandpa, because I couldn't get this damn thing to work. But yeah, I've tried to get, I have tried to get other people to play these older games with me, and oftentimes I'm told, like, yeah, no, this game sucks. You know, the hitboxes are bad, the feeling of it's bad, everything's just bad, you know? And I don't really agree, you know? I don't agree that it's terrible. I agree that it's dated, but yeah, I don't agree that it's terrible. I think it's doable, albeit kind of frustrating, but not bad. Not bad by any means. So, alright, so we got 100 zenny for completing the quest. We had a special mushroom, which got us some extra money. We got an additional 15 points for completing the quest. No, we're not going to save. But yeah, that took about 30 minutes from start to finish. Just because. But yeah. I don't know, and you only get 50 minutes too. Alright, so what we are going to do is first we're going to go to our item box. And we're going to drop off some of this stuff. So, put in item. We're going to drop off our stuff. Pin tuna. We're not going to need that. We will need this. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We will need this. We don't need that. Take out item. I know eventually I'm going to need that stupid sushi fish. So I'm just going to take it ahead of time. Oh boy. Gonna organize my box. Put in item. No, take out item. Put in item. There we go. Alright. We're gonna leave here. But yeah, I've obviously had friends that I've tried to get them to play Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate with me, and to them, it's just not a good game. It doesn't feel good to them. They don't like the hitboxes. Monster Hunter has taken a long time to where it not only feels good, but it actually just feels accessible. I found out through researching, you know, Monster Hunter that it's more popular in Japan. It's always been more popular in Japan, and in the United States, or just North America in general, anything outside of Japan, it's honestly just very, very niche. And, you know, it didn't do well in the States, at least, until like a certain point. And it's because, again, the game was just so difficult. It was so difficult, it wasn't really that accessible. People kind of looked at it and was just like, yeah, no, it's not my style. I think that can be said for a lot of Japanese games, where they just were not as accessible, or just weren't as fun, due to just American gaming habits. So, that's really, like, yeah. So, even something like Generations Ultimate, for a lot of people, just the old style of game is just not how they like things. This one is a freaking, yeah, rumblefish. But yeah, so when I first started playing Generations Ultimate, it was really, really odd. But it was really, really odd only because I started with Rise. So obviously Rise was my first game. It was what I was used to. And then all of a sudden, you know, I saw Generations Ultimate on sale, and I was like, oh, cool, you know, let's go do that. I didn't know you needed bug nets. I didn't know you needed pickaxes. I didn't even know that you had to track down the monster and, you know, hit it with a paintball. So when the mission was giving me paintballs, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why? Why do I need paintballs? You know, what are these for? And I really wasn't sure. I thought it was kind of like a joke item almost, because again, I just was not sure, like, what was going on. And it took me a long while, I think, to learn it. It took me a good minute to figure out what I was doing in that game. Because again, it was just something that was so different. If you want to be a first-rate hunter, there's all sorts of challenges you have to meet. What level of quest would you like? Okay, so now that we did the urgent quest, we can now access 1-star quests. Like I said, these are all, we only have 5 of them, but it's gathering, they're all gathering quests. So we won't run into any monsters outside of the quote-unquote easy sort of like pacifist sort of monsters for the most part. So we'll run into Antonoths, Bullfangos, Moss Swines, that sort of thing, but there won't be any Velociprey or Velocidromes. So we already cleared this one. This one, he wants to teach us how to make a well-done steak. So all that raw meat that we delivered and all the extra raw meat that we collected, we are now going to learn how to cook it. This is where, I think this was the first mission where I was like, ooh, these graphics are bad. And like I said, I'm not a graphic snob. So, so looking at my character, right, you can tell she's dated, right? I mean, that's a given. But she's cute, you know? Like, the armor's okay, everything looks okay. Like, I'm not gonna say it's good, it's not good, but it's okay, right? It's not bad. This is where I started to think that this shit was bad. I don't even need to grab all this. I'm not even gonna do it. But anyways, this is where I thought this shit was bad. So, God, I hated this so much. So first you wanna put your camera to where you can see, but, so, yeah, you have to put down the spit, and you're gonna see the meat change color. Oh. So now it's kind of rare, and this is, yep, and that's burnt. Did you see it change color? I hope you did, because I can't. Alright, now it's a rare steak. That's a rare steak, right? Oh, good thing we have like 6 more. Alright, now it's a rare steak. Yeah, did you see that change color? I didn't see that change color. Yeah, so I'm timing it. I am literally just timing it. You trying to use big brain, right? Alright, there's rare steak. Okay, so like depending on the angle of the light, like I can see it change color. But I'm also blind. So there's times where I can't see it change color. Okay. That's so goofy, dude. So we only need 2, but I'm going to cook as many of these as I can. So, honestly, the way that I've been doing this is not only do I memorize the song, but sometimes you can see the bone kind of change color a little bit. For some people that might be easier. Oh no. See, and that's the thing, it's so finicky. There'll be times where I'm like, oh, I pressed it on time. But it's just like fishing. So that's a rare steak. And that's a well done steak. But had I let it go for 1 more second, just 1 more second, it would have been burnt. Like, oh my gosh. So we're gonna deliver those and we'll be done. Yeah, that's wild. that is just so wild to me. So yeah, and you can eat the burnt steaks, and sometimes they help your stamina, but most of the time they're just gonna hurt your stamina, and then your stamina's gonna go down. Phew. But yeah, that's wild. That is absolutely wild. So, I'm really hoping I don't have to, do these things in the future, like have to cook steaks in the future. I think I'm just gonna stick to my rations or whatever. 'Cause yeah, that's bad. That is so bad. Alright. We're gonna take our reward, which is a couple crickets and some small bones. We're gonna get another 100 zenny. We're gonna get 20 additional points, which is nice. No, I'm not gonna save. So as far as like the money goes, right? Just speaking on money in general, you would think, oh, we've already got 200 zenny. But do you remember one armor piece, right? One armor piece cost us 300 zenny, right? So one armor piece cost us 300 zenny. A weapon, which I've looked at, the next weapon that would be like good for me, the next hunter knife, which barely, just barely, increases my attack by like 10, right? That's 1500 zenny. Yeah? So it is 1500 zenny just for that. Just for the weapon, right? And all we have right now for doing 2 quests is 2 zenny, or I mean 200 zenny, right? And this isn't even going into the fact that we will eventually reach a point where the quests that we take will cost zenny to complete. So we are, we're kind of at this, like, stalemate of, do I want to improve my weapons, or do I just get good with bad weapons? Because, crap's expensive, you know? That's a sleepy fish. Thanks. Ooh, there's a small goldfish in there. A small golden fish. But I think the sushi fish is gonna get it first. Nope, that would be the knife mackerel. But I really want that small golden fish because that is 500 zenny. 500 zenny just for the small golden fish. No. You didn't catch anything. Thanks. Like I said, I pressed it immediately, but sleepy fish are one of the more finicky fish I've noticed. So, sometimes they will go immediately, sometimes they'll bite a couple times, then they'll go. Sometimes you can press it super fast, and it still won't matter. It'll say that you lost the bait, or that you messed it up somehow. Like, sleepy fish just get on my nerves. Like, I have a specific hatred for sleepy fish. But fishing is not fun. It's not bad, but it's not fun. Hey Grandma, what do you got for sale? Greetings, I just so happen to be a traveling purveyor of fine goods. I'm stocking up on everybody's unwanted items. Well, Grandma, I got a ton of them. Here you go. Have some burnt meat. In fact, have another one. Have a rare steak. Let's see. You want my sleepy fish? You can have my sleepy fish. You can even have my knife mackerel, Grandma. There you go. What you got to buy? Ooh, she's got herbal medicine, tainted meat. Ooh, she's got, oh, wow. She's got actual, like, materials. A Rathian scale and a Rathalos scale. 4,900 zenny. Holy crap, Grandma. What have you been doing? Girl. Goodness. Grandma's been getting busy or something. She's secretly a hunter on the side. So yeah, if you look at the weapons, right, let's go down to whatever. The Bone Crisp, that is the next, item, right? Barely raises us by 14, right? Barely gives us any sharpness. And this weapon is 918 zenny, right? Or we could just craft it ourselves, which is only like 400 zenny. So there's a huge incentive to create weapons because, I mean, yeah, let's see, what does it require? We have small monster bones. Oh, I have to go get them. I have to go get them. That's right. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, but I don't have the money, do I? Items? How much zenny do I have? I only have like 200 zenny, right? Because if I could just get the bone crisp, I'm just gonna do it. I know I'm not gonna be fighting anything, but... Put in item, stone, earth crystal, take out item, and take a small monster bone. There we go. What else can I take out? Is there something like I could sell? I'm gonna take out the needleberries, just because I don't need them, and I'm not gonna use them. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and just sell those. So we're gonna sell needleberry. Yeah. And then we are gonna go and see if we can make the bone crisp. Create weapon. No? What are we missing? Oh, we're poor. That's right, we're poor. That's fine. That's fine. I'll be poor. One more mission and I won't be poor anymore. Alright, so we've found the raw meat, we've cooked the raw meat. Now we are going to search for the items which wants us to deliver 2 herbs and 1 spiderweb. So we are going to go ahead and do that. And here's the thing. What do I have currently on me? I'm just gonna... Dude. Oh, I can't grab the spiderweb, darn. Okay, it is what it is. I'm just gonna max out my herbs anyways. But yeah, I don't know. This game's really not that bad. At least not yet. And that's the thing. I always say that. But I'm being logical, I think, when I say, from what I've been playing, I see that it's doable. I do not think, personally, that it is going to be something that I just cannot stand, right? I personally feel like this game is obviously enjoyable to some extent. Otherwise, so many people wouldn't have had this game, you know? Oh, that jankiness at first. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, obviously this game is doable, and obviously this game is playable. So many people remember this as, like, their first, like, Monster Hunter game, and actually enjoy it. So, I mean, and like I said, I'm doing it now. I've been playing this game, gosh, so for this recording alone, right? Take this into account. For this recording alone, I have been playing for 45 minutes. As I already said, I have tried to get this game to work multiple times. Multiple times. And the last time I played for over 2 hours. You know, I would hope and think that by then I could form a solid opinion of, do I like this game, do I not like this game? Is this game the best? No. It's not. I would rather be playing literally any other Monster Hunter if I were given the choice. If I'm being completely honest. I definitely prefer Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Because I feel like it took everything that Freedom had and it just made it better. So, for example, right? This is called the Hills, I believe. The map, it's called the Hills. So the Hills, it is a locale that you can visit in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate because you can go to Poke Village, you can go to Kokoto Village, you can go to Yakumo Village, which are all villages from the various Monster Hunters, the Monster Hunter portable games, right? You can go to all these different locales, all these different places, and you can visit their classic maps. Well, obviously you can go to the Hills. And I love the fact that they updated the graphics for herbs. They updated the graphics for herbs, for bugs, for minerals that you can mine. Even spider webs look a lot different and more defined, right? So it, you know, it really just took what was already there, right? It took the skeleton of what was already there, and it just gave it more detail. Like, it updated the graphics, it upgraded the music, it upgraded some of the item placements, right? It literally just took what classic Monster Hunter had, and just gave it a facelift. There you go. It gave it a facelift. A lot of people said that Generations Ultimate was really frustrating due to how clunky it was, how dated it is, but honestly, are you really going to say that Generations Ultimate is dated when you got crap like this? Like, honey, this is dated. This makes Generations Ultimate look like a masterpiece, okay? And I love Generations Ultimate because, like I said, it makes me feel nostalgic for a game that I've never played before, which is really funny to me. It's Mosswine. Hi, I'm Mosswine. Do you have mushrooms on you? Maybe not. At least I'll get some, like, raw meat or something. Blue mushroom. Thanks. But yeah, Generations Ultimate made me very nostalgic for a game that I've never owned. And so, like, I have to give it credit for that. But a lot of people said that because of how slow-moving it was and just how dated it was just not very fun to play. Yeah, those people wouldn't survive, like, 10 minutes playing this game. They would give up immediately. Because if they think that is dated, then they are not prepared. I love how my character can just, like, cling to a rock and just hang there for no fucking reason. Like, why would she want to, is the question. Like, why? And I have to press circle for every little thing, and she climbs up so slow. So slow. Alright, I'm looking for a spider web, if you're wondering. And you can't climb any faster than this either. Like, can you imagine trying to climb down with a wyvern egg, right? And there's a Rathalos stalking you. And this is as fast as you can go. That is this experience. That is this game, right? Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So like I said, my hat's off to you. Like, anybody who was like, this was my first Monster Hunter, I love this game. Yeah, like I said, hats off to you. You are amazing. I could only wish to have a fraction of your skill. And your patience. Because, I mean, I'm doing this. Like I said, it's not impossible. But I'll be damned if I ain't gonna have a hard time. Oh, by the way, this is a spider web. So, yeah. Can you see it? Can you see the spider web? Does it look like a spider web? Oh, man. I know some of you have heard me mention my friend Roto. And, he hates Generation Ultimate. He gets so pissed at that game, just because of how dated it is. And I always laugh because, like, to me, if someone gets so mad at that game, I just feel like somewhere there's gotta be some sort of skill issue going on or something, because I don't have an issue with it. I just understand that sometimes I'm gonna fail. You know, sometimes I'm gonna mess up. That's just how it is, right? Is there fall damage? No? Okay. Just stumbling. But yeah, I've just kind of accepted that sometimes I'm going to fail at something. Sometimes missions are not going to go my way. Sometimes I'm not going to be paying attention, and sometimes I'm just not going to be as sharp as I need to be. Sometimes I'm going to be under-leveled, or I mean under-geared, you know, like I'm not going to have the advantage I should. And like, that's just part of playing video games, right? So I tend not to get too pissed at video games. I do get angry, I will admit, at some video games, especially like Sea of Thieves and stuff, which makes me unreasonably angry. But that's like a PvP game, so that's different. But solo player games, or like games where you're cooperating with other people to take down a creature of some kind, I tend not to get too mad, because I just understand that it's a learning experience, you know? So that's kind of how I treat Monster Hunter, it's just a learning experience. But I told him that I was playing Monster Hunter Freedom, and he just said, "I'm sorry to hear that." Like it was torture. I'm like, dude, it's not that bad. And he sent me a squint emoji. And I'm like, no, seriously, it is not that bad. I was like, but I will say it's weird because you move with the left analog stick and you turn the camera with the D-pad, which is also on the left side, and I got 0 response from him. Like, no response. Like, nada. Not a response. So I can't decide if that's because he's just absolutely horrified at the prospect of that being a thing, or what. So we are now up to 400 Zenny. We got 20 additional Kokoto points. Alright, no, we're not going to save. I'm going to make a point at something here. So in order to grow a mushroom tree, you essentially need 1,500 guild points, right? We have 55 guild points. That's insane to me. Okay, we are going to sell. Take my worms and my crickets, I don't want them. Because I've already got, sushi fish and stuff. I'll keep my yam bug, I guess. And I'm gonna keep my blue mushrooms, because I'm going to need those. Let's go get our stuff real quick, see if there's anything else that we can sell And then we can get our Bone Chris, and then once we have our Bone Chris, then honestly, I'll kind of basically, outside of doing the quests, I'll be caught up with my original character. So, but no, this is a much more pleasant, gaming experience now that I have turned off the Steam input and, my controller is not trying to control my entire computer. This is actually pretty relaxing. I feel like I was more stressed playing this game before just because I was fighting with, like, my PC the entire time. So this honestly isn't really that bad. Now, as far as, like, whether or not I'm actually going to keep playing this, that's questionable. Just because, like, one, I don't know if people would be interested. For two, I really don't know how far I can go. I don't really like committing to games that I don't plan on finishing. Sushi fish! But yeah, I don't really like committing to games that I don't plan on finishing. Don't look at me funny, because I know some of you are probably squinting if you've seen my stuff before. Damn it. Yes, I know, I have a lot of unfinished shit, okay? I'm aware. Most of that has to do with, system errors, though. So, Guild Wars 2, I stopped playing it because I just didn't have a way to record it properly. I mean, the same thing goes with Classic Guild Wars. Classic Guild Wars, I discontinued that for a couple of reasons. Classic Guild Wars got discontinued just because it relies so heavily on a player base, right? And it doesn't have one anymore. Like, it does. There's, like, dedicated people that still play. I would know, because I'm part of the Discord group for, you know, a lot of them, because I really wanted to complete my Hall of Monuments. So don't get me wrong, I mean, there are people that play, but trying to find them in a timely manner to get stuff done, you know, when I want to get it done, that is where I kind of, like, run into the issue. So, yeah, that's kind of where I run into the issue, so it's not a great thing. Guild Wars 2, create weapon, there we go. Well, our ugly bone weapon is complete. The reason I stopped playing Guild Wars 2 was because I just could not get my recording stuff to cooperate. Anytime I tried to record my mic, it was just not working. It was kind of like the issue I was having with most things. But yeah, it was definitely the issue I was having with most things, which was, there we go. Just the microphone wasn't working. There was these weird distortions that would pop up, and I wasn't sure why they were popping up. I had no idea, like, why it was happening. And after a while, I kind of just faded away from Guild Wars 2 anyways. I just wasn't as interested in it. I beat, like, every expansion already, and then I was having to replay them as a new character, and I really just didn't want to do it. There are very few games I've realized that I'm willing to actually, like, replay. Deliver 2 potions. Okay. So we have to create 2 potions so that we can deliver 2 potions. In order to create the 2 potions, we have to find the herbs and the blue mushrooms. So this is another place where some people might actually kind of, like, be horrified, that combining items is still a thing in original Monster Hunter, or, you know, Monster Hunter Freedom in this case. It's still a thing, but what makes it bad is that, the fact that they don't tell you what items make what. So I'm going to just show you real quick. I'm not sure how many potions I can make, but so essentially you're going to go to combined, okay? And then you're going to choose an item, and then it's going to tell you to choose another item, right? I'm trying to click on iron ore. It won't let me. I don't have any other items. I'm trying to click well done steak, and then eventually you click blue mushroom. And then it's like, so these 2 things are going to make unknown with a success rate of unknown, and it's going to make 1 thing. So then you're just going to press combine and hope for the best. Okay, so now we know that an herb and a blue mushroom makes a potion, right? Well, now we're out of blue mushroom, so we've managed to make one potion, but we have to make another one, so I have to find more blue mushroom. But as you can see, the combined items are going to make a potion with a success rate of 95%, and it'll give us one potion. So yeah, nothing is guaranteed in this game. Like, nothing at all is guaranteed in this game, except for, like, really crappy items, like old pickaxes or stuff that are bound to break. So we got plenty of herbs, we just need to get the blue mushrooms. Ugh. And the place where we get the blue mushrooms is here. So as you can see, more of the map is opening up to us now. That's because they want us to go and find specific items, and specific items are in specific zones. So we can get a blue mushroom from this moss swine sometimes, if it's already eaten a mushroom. So if you catch a moss swine after it's eaten at a mushroom, sometimes it will give you a blue mushroom instead of raw meat. But like I said, it's all just random. Okay, so we got raw meat because, yeah, reasons. But there is a mushroom patch right here, and we can collect blue mushrooms from it. And I'm gonna try and get as many as I can. Just cuz. Alright, so we got 3 blue mushrooms. Blue mushroom. So Zone 7 is where the Veggie Elder is. Zone 8's where we are now. Zone 9 is just another, like, gathering area with, like, a camp. There's actually more to this map. They have yet to include Zone 10 and 11, which are, like, fishing areas and stuff. That'll open up when we go to do, like, the sushi fish quest. Oh, I've got something in my eye, and it hurts so bad. Ow. But yeah, we'll get that when we go to do the sushi fish quest. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and combine our herb and our blue mushroom. And we're gonna make as many as we can, and then we are going to deposit our potions. So again, really simple stuff, nothing too complicated. But yeah. So, as far as, like, what I have on my PC, I do have Freedom 2, and I do have Freedom Unite. I also have Portable Third, even though I know that it's completely in Japanese. And the reason I have it is because it actually was the first Monster Hunter game I tried to play, but alas, because it was on a jailbroke PSP that I bought from a soldier, like, way back in the day, only the items were in English, everything else was still in Japanese. Ooh, a Kutkus scale. But yeah, everything was still in Japanese as far as, like, the dialogue. And because I'd never played a Monster Hunter game before, I didn't know about starting quests, didn't know about the training area, really just didn't know about anything. So it was really hard to, actually play the game, so I mostly just played the starting video over and over again, and, you know, every year I'd make a little bit more stride. I'd be like, okay, you know, I managed to get out of the hot tub this time, and I managed to make it to the village this time, and it's like, it always felt like I was getting a little bit closer, just a little bit, to what I needed, but I was just never close enough. So, alright. So there was, that was that. So I kind of just got that just for, like, nostalgic sake, just because I do want to play more of it. But again, I mostly just got Freedom Unite, because I'm just curious about what those are like, because I've never played them before, you know? And like I said, I really like trying new games. So this is the last quest, and then we are going to be caught up. Now, this does give us a, we do fish in this quest, and then to get a sushi fish, I've already got sushi fish. So we can essentially just end this quest here. I'm gonna do a little bit of fishing, just because I want to, and it'll earn a, like, I don't know. There is a golden fish, like a huge golden fish. It's a burst arowana is what it is. It is the burst arowana. It is in zone 10, where there's this huge bullfango. It's not a bulldrome, it's just a regular bullfango. Let's see. We are going to go here. But yeah, it's in zone 11? Yeah. And it's in zone 11. And this is this is when I realized my shit wasn't recording, right? So I was at this point, right? I've already gotten like a lot of crap already. I've gotten a lot of stuff on my main account. I've been talking for like 2 hours, wrong way. I've been talking for like 2 hours at this point, talking about how, oh, this game is actually fine, the camera's weird, but it's not impossible, and anybody that complains, I started going on this tirade of anybody that complains clearly is just having a little bit of a skill issue, you know, just to be funny, you know. And, yeah, I caught the burst arowana because they gave us this cutscene. They give you this cutscene like, oh man, look at this place. This place is so cool. This place is so amazing, right? And I'd gone through this map to show off like, oh, look, the map's opening up. Everything's opening up, guys. Like, look at this amazing zone. And then it gives you this, cutscene, and I'm like, oh man. And then when I went to go check to make sure that like the cutscene was okay and everything looked okay, after I had fought this bullfango, caught this burst arowana, that's when I realized that everything was bad. Everything was horrible. Like, nothing recorded properly. And then I had to do it all over again. And I was like, are you shitting me? Like, I was so salty about it. Because look at that huge fish. Like, that is the burst arowana. And I was like, look at that. I was like, I want that fish, you know? Alright, here's the bullfango that wants me dead. Oh. I dodged better last time. Okay. This is the only issue I have with older gen games, is that because everything's a loading screen and it doesn't ask you if you want to go to the new zone or not, essentially monsters can knock you into the next zone. And likewise, you can attack a monster. And likewise, you can attack a monster, and it can, you can attack yourself into the next zone. So, bullfango are already annoying for how much they charge. Yeah, and they can turn on a dime just like that. Their tells are not always clear. This one just has it out for me, dude. And then this is where the issue with the camera kind of comes in place. So we want to be in this open area because we want to be able to dodge. I might cart because of this bullfango. And healing takes so long, too. So we're just gonna do this. And I'm gonna dodge out of the way, and then I'm gonna quickly take a potion. Okay. And then we're gonna attack this guy, because he should honestly be kind of near dead. Okay. So, but yeah, this is an issue kind of like where the camera comes into play, and this is where you start to kind of see the weakness of the camera. Because this bullfango, there we go. This bullfango, I was gonna say, should have been dead by now, but because I can't see it, because I can't rotate my camera fast enough, that is where we kind of run into an issue. But, yeah, I was really upset because the first time I ran into this bullfango, I dodged out of the way flawlessly. Like, this thing gave me no trouble at all. So now, because we're fighting the bullfango, the burst arowana has disappeared. So, fish are pretty much RNG, and the issue with RNG is that there can only be so many fish in the pond at a time. Oops. Yeah, there can only be so many fish in the pond at a time, and if you kind of, like, miss your window for a certain fish, oops, you essentially just have to wait until it comes back. You lost your bait. Um, and so there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can... Hold on. You can reset the zone. You can reset the zone for the fish to appear. Or you can essentially just keep catching fish until the fish that you wanted shows up again. Oh, that rumblefish be a-coming. But yeah, I wish I'd kept the clip of me catching the burst arowana, because I literally, it was the first fish I got. Like, I ran up to the zone, I immediately caught it, and I was so proud of myself, and then realized that all my recording was shit. So, it's kind of unfortunate. So, and I don't honestly think it's coming back, so I wonder if it's like a hurry up and kill the bullfingo, or else it's just not coming back, or if it matters on the bait. I know that certain bait is more rare than others, and it'll summon certain fish. So, this is a rumblefish. So, I have no idea. But I'm just doing this for fun, just because I have the bait, and like I said, I can. Just to show the fishing just a little bit more, so... Because everybody said that the fishing was bad, and I will admit, I think the fishing in Generations Ultimate, I forget what I had to get. There was a certain fish I needed, and I know that it didn't appear, and I think it was because I was actually fishing in, like, the wrong zone. But I was trying, like, all these different baits and stuff. I was trying to find this one specific fish, and I think I spent probably most of the mission. Like, I could have timed out. I could have timed out because I was just trying to, get this fish, this specific type of fish, and it just was not appearing for me. And I forget what I had to do to get it to appear, but I think it was just a matter of going to a different fishing spot, but I couldn't really remember. Why do I keep doing that? My finger keeps twitching. The only thing, like I said, is, like, this fishing is kind of finicky. Pin tuna. This fishing is kind of finicky. It's not bad by any means. Like I said, it's just kind of finicky. It's definitely not something that, it's not as consistent as I would like it to be, because I am a snob only when it comes to fishing, like in games, really. Fishing in games that have nothing to do with fishing is like my favorite pastime. I even have a tier list on my gaming blog for fishing, so it's kind of like my guilty pleasure. So naturally, I'm a little bit more picky when I'm like, oh man, there's not enough variety of fish, or oh, the fishing's kind of lame and it doesn't have, you know, as much in terms of like mechanics as I'd like it to. And yeah, like if you want me to be snobby over anything, like it would definitely be fishing in a game that has nothing to do with fishing, like at all. This is someone that not only cleared, like, the fishing log in Nier Replicant, but then went back and did it again in, like, classic Nier Gestalt, which was crazy. And then I literally caught every fish in Nier Automata, even knowing that there was not an achievement for it. So, I'm a bit of a fishing masochist, I guess, is what you'd call. I don't know. So, but I will say fishing in Rise is so easy, and then you get to Generations Ultimate, which isn't as easy. It's actually kind of and there's not a lot of fish, but also it's just like the different types of bait make it weird. And then you have this one where fishing is very RNG based, and I don't really care for that much, you know. But yeah, that finishes up our quests, honestly, and then we can move on to our urgent quests and stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is something that I want to continue to play. I guess it just depends on what other people want to see. And then if they want to see it, I mean, I could easily play more. It's not impossible, you know? Quest cleared. I love how it doesn't even have the stamp. It's just like, just writing on the screen. For some odd reason, that just tickles me to no end. But yeah, we be raking in that bank now. 265 zenny. Whew, we're really pulling in them numbers, No, I don't want to save. Oh boy, what a game. So we're gonna go ahead and go in here. Oh man. Anyways, so yeah, that was Monster Hunter Freedom. Now, obviously, we didn't really fight any monsters, save for the Bullfango and the Antonoth and that stuff like that, and the Moss Swine that I killed for the blue mushrooms. I mean, we really haven't gotten into the meat and potatoes of this series, but, I mean, I guess it just kind of gives you a gist of what it's like. I'm so glad that I finally got this recording working. So we'll see if it actually worked this time once I go to video edit, or if I'm gonna cry in a corner. Anyways, thank you guys so much. If you are liking this series, go ahead and leave a like. In the comment section down below, let me know if you want to see more. Do you want to see me struggle as I play this old Monster Hunter game? So yeah, if you want to see me play more, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Likewise, if you have any advice for someone that has never played Freedom before, just let me know. I'm very open to advice, to builds, to things like that. Just anything that would be helpful. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching these videos and for supporting my channel. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Alright, ciao you guys.